Hey, welcome to Guitar Knobs, the guitars, gear, noise, and nonsense podcast, hosted today by these knobs.
Tony Dudzik, Pick Guardian.
Jared Brandon is traveling for Thanksgiving.
Gobble, 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 gobble.
Yeah, and we have...
And so, Billy Spitfire Unlimited.
Yes. Hey, everybody, it's me, Todd. Novak. Welcome to the Guitar Knobs podcast. We are thrilled to death that you are listening to our show. The show. I feel like I sound like Jiminy Glick right there.
We have a special guest, don't we?
We do have a special guest, and that special guest is extra. I mean, look, I think all of our guests are special, but I think they're extra special when we have our grand poobahs on. Now, for those of you who don't know what a grand poobah is, a grand poobah is our highest tier supporter on Patreon.
Yes.
We have 2 levels. Now 2 levels. We carry it with the legacy levels are still there.
Legacy.
But we only offer to 2 right now. Anyways, well, I've got way too much into that detail.
You're in the weeds.
My point is, these are the ones that live at the top of the penthouse of Guitar Knobs 101 Boulevard.
Yeah, well, it's the top floor.
That's correct. And
the tallest building in Columbus.
yeah, this person, who are you, person?
Lukas Janaky of LSJ Music Company.
LSJ Music Company.
There you go. Well, we are really, really excited to have Lukas on because he is a gear nut. A gear fiend might be harsh.
Yeah. There's some negative connotation.
Yeah.
You know, if the hat fits, I might have to wear it.
Speaking of hats, are you wearing your fez?
No, unfortunately, it's in the studio at home.
Did you read the bylaws?
I did.
Okay. We'll let it slide this one time.
Yes.
But from this point forward,
penalties moving forward.
you must wear the fez whilst listening to the podcast.
Yes.
Oh yeah, always in the car for sure.
Okay, cool.
Well, anyways, to those of you who are listening maybe for the first time, we welcome you. We're glad that you're here. We're glad that you found us by whatever way means that is.
Yes.
We love it when we have new listeners, and we invite you to reach out to us. Tell us how you like the show, what you like about it, what you don't like about it, whatever. How much you like Billy. He's likable. You can't not like Billy.
No.
You can not like Tony. But anyhow.
Everybody doesn't like something, but nobody doesn't like Billy.
That's right. That's right. So let's see here. We got a couple of announcements, and then we're just gonna talk about cool guitar stuff. All right.
Rode.
That's right. We need to thank Rode Mics for providing our awesome audio equipment. We've been greatly benefited from Rode, and we're grateful for that.
Do you remember the old days?
I do remember the old days.
We had like a mixing board and this console and then mic was
well,
wires and everything everywhere.
The days before this, before you were even on, was even rougher.
Yeah.
Oh boy, let me tell you, soup cans and radios.
But look at us now. I mean, this is Johnny Pro here, man.
Yeah, it sure is.
Articulating arms. Absolutely.
I also wanted to share, we get great letters from people, and this one stopped me in my tracks. I was at Chase's shop, and it was a really neat thing because I was walking out, and I stopped, and I was reading. He's like, dude, you okay? And I was like, he looked at me, and I said, read this, and we both were just like, wow, that's amazing. You never know what is going to happen when you put stuff out in the world. So this is from a gentleman named James Bell. James Bell. We were going back and forth on a few things, and he said, hey, more seriously, I would like to sincerely thank you for everything you do. I discovered the podcast during lockdowns. I was having a lot of problems at work and at home, and still am. And you guys have genuinely helped me along the way. I'm just some bloke who lives in the middle of nowhere, English countryside. You're on the other side of the world, and we've never met. But our joint love of nerding out over boutique guitar gear makes us, and all the listeners, brothers and sisters in tone chasing.
Yeah.
And there is no stronger brotherhood than that.
Yeah.
My 8-year-old son joins in with all of your catchphrases and does quite a respectable impression of Tony.
Nice.
All the best, James. I'm just walking down the street, and And then I get feedback from the middle of the countryside in England about somebody who's connecting with us, and
that's nice.
It means so much to me. Honestly, it does. I
and
know
isn't
it means
that really
to you guys too.
isn't that really the goal of this whole podcast? Is we don't want there's no strangers here. The people that are listening to us, I think, all have a love of gear or interest at least, or they, what he says is true. It does. It's definitely a brotherhood.
Yeah. Once you're a friend, it's pants optional.
Yeah.
Kidding.
Well,
I'm kidding, of course. Anyways, I just wanted to say a sincere thank you to James Bell for taking a moment to send that out to us.
Yeah.
I mean, I went home, I shared that with my wife, I shared it with my kids because it's meaningful. Like, you don't when you get those kind of connections in life and you're not expecting it. Gosh, what an exhilarating thing that is. So, thank you.
Nice.
Let's get on with what's going on in our music weeks, gentlemen. We're going to start out with Tanya Belansky, a.k.a. Tony Baloney, a.k.a. Tony Pickguardian. And he's going to start us out, and then we're going to go check in with our friend Lukas.
Well, now, should I do it in my voice or in Little Bell's voice?
Not Little Bell's voice. We don't want to upset Little Bell.
Oh, okay.
Hello, Little Bell, wherever you are in the English countryside. Okay, go ahead.
So, this week, I have a couple of guitars that I put together that use modern Fender dynamic vibrato systems, also known as Mustang vibratos. Now, many of you know what those look like, and the vintage ones are actually a little bit better than the modern the reissue, shall we say, but of course, trying to find an original one is pricey and difficult at best. And one of the biggest problems right now with the reissues is the original ones. There are two little posts that connect to springs to underneath this piece, and they connect to this. Some people call it the hot dog or a cigar case or whatever. It's basically where the whammy bar goes into. And on the original base plates, the holes that those posts went into had a knife edge on them. And what we find with a lot of the newer stuff, especially the import stuff, is the knife edge is not there. And having the knife edge it really makes the contact in two contact points work much better. So there's two options. One, find a vintage piece, or you can actually go in and try to bevel to recreate the knife edge on the base plate, but that's difficult and sometimes dangerous because you're dealing with metal and you don't want to necessarily do that. So I don't use vibrato a lot or tremolo a lot. So what I opted for is the third option, and this is similar to what Mr. Kurt Cobain did on at least one or two of his Mustangs, is you make it into a hardtail. And in this case, you basically take the vibrato off, remove the springs, take out the posts, and replace the posts with, in this case, because they're imports, you find you can use M6, that's a metric bolt, and a little spacer so that the strings can still wrap underneath. And the tuning stability is 100% improvement.
Is this just a terribly tuned thing? Is it?
Well, no. Like I said, the original ones when they had the
neater looking vibratos, I think
it's cool. I love big hunks of chrome on guitars.
You're going to say hot dogs, which I know you do. But
I do like that too. But anyhow, so it's a really simple fix, and it's reversible if at some point you want to, go back to the vibrato system. But my problem with it is, you could play a song and then it would pop out of tune if you.
So you performed a vibrotomy?
Yeah, I guess that's what it would technically be called. So anyhow, just a little tip. If anybody has any questions about that, I can get you kind of an idea of some of the parts. I mean, I just got my stuff down at the local Ace Hardware store, and you can use regular metric bolts, or I opted for they're called socket head bolts, which have like a hex key on the bottom, or an insert for a hex key, and it works really well. So anyhow, now I've got 2 hardtail Mustang style guitars that in this case they stay in tune.
Is that less desirable, more desirable? Does it matter how desirable
I guess it really
is?
I mean, if nothing else, I mean, having it to be able to use it as a live guitar and not worry too much about it falling out of tune, I think it's worth it. I mean, but again, it's a totally reversible modification.
Sure.
So,
well, all right, man.
So, yeah, like I said, if anybody has any questions about that, shoot me an email or shoot Todd an email. He'll shoot it to me.
That's what I will do that.
And we'll get you on the right track.
Okay. Thank you, Tony. Mm-hmm. Lucas, how about yourself?
Oh, man. It's hard to keep track of what's my music week and what's stuff in the stores music week nowadays. But I think the newer one is not that long ago, I bought a 65 Gretsch Corvette body.
Yay!
And I've been kind of putting it back together.
Hey, I know a guy can help you with a pickguard.
Hey, I might need that because the one that came with it is
in pieces.
No, someone made a new one, and it is horribly fitting the guitar.
Okay,
it's really bad, but it's kind of gets the part for now. My biggest thing is I've been in contemplation of I'm trying to figure out what I don't like about the bridge pickup. It has the Dynasonics in it. No, not Dynasonics. Hylotrons, yes. And the neck sounds amazing. It sounds so good. And then the bridge just seems to be super lacking. And I don't know if it's like just the pickup or if it's that whole thing. And then it's original. So I'm like I don't necessarily want to replace it because it's cool, but
did you meter out the pickups?
Yeah, they're they're really low. I mean, they're like 3, 9, 8.
Yeah, that's about right.
I kind of thought so.
So here's what you can do.
I knew you'd be the right person for this question.
TV Jones makes an outstanding Hylotron, and his bridge pickups are usually wound a little bit hotter than the neck pickups. Curtis Novak makes one.
Yeah, this stuff's great. That's what I did for my 12-string. I put those in there, and God, those pickups sound good.
And they're so good that even Fender Custom Shop puts them in any 12 strings that they put together. So
interesting.
Yeah, so those are the same pickups. But the other option is to take that pickup, the bridge pickup, and have it wound a little bit hotter. Kind of overwound by 5 or 10%.
Sure.
And that will give you, a lot more output. But if you want to keep that original, I would go to TV Jones.
That's a good idea.
And just order up, and you can actually spec in. He had this one a little bit hotter or whatever.
Sure.
And that's the way to do it.
Yeah. Do they do aged covers?
They might.
I guess I could always, if I kept the old one, I could use the cover from that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know that I would take it apart.
That's the thing. I don't really want to take it apart.
Yeah,
that was because it's in really good condition. It's more just that it's not the greatest bridge pickup in the world.
Yeah.
Granted, the neck pickup sounds amazing, and I'm kind of cool with just playing in the neck pickup.
Yeah. No, those are very cool. I've had a number of Corvettes over the years, and
it's a fun guitar. It needs a fret job real bad, so that's on the docket of things for me to do at some point, but being a repair guy, I buy stuff kind of like you, Tony, where it's I buy stuff that needs work because that's how I can get into a vintage guitar.
Yep, absolutely. Now, does that one have the 4.2 headstock?
Yeah, yes, it does.
Okay, yeah, it's those.
I like it.
Yeah, no, there's a company called Music Man or Ernie Ball that still likes that 4.2 headstock too. Now,
but the other way around.
Yeah, you're right. That's right.
That's right. It's 2 on the top and 4 on the bottom.
That's right. That's right.
Which
weird.
Is not better for the string angles. I will tell you, it is much worse. But it's funny. I love it. And in that same vein, I've got a Astrojet.
Oh God. That's an abomination.
Tony, wow! For Tony to say that's really something because Tony likes weird stuff.
Yeah, it is a weird guitar, and you should see it though. Somebody loved the life out of that guitar. I'm not kidding. There is a hole worn through the pickup cover.
I wonder where you're going with this.
It's worn straight through the pickup cover. The neck has spots where the binding has no channel left.
Oh my God.
Somebody played the life out of this guitar, and that's why I bought it. It's so cool that somebody just loved the life out of this guitar. And I'll tell you, it sounds great. I mean, I don't disagree whoever was playing it. And it's crazy. It has fretboard wear from not just cowboy chords, from 1 and 3 to 10.
Wow.
In the fretboard. It's got a second set of frets on it. It's crazy. It's cool. I wish I could have found the person that owned it.
Oh yeah, I mean that had to be a professionally played instrument. Like
it had
every, 24/7 or 7 days a week.
Yeah, it was crazy. Like I said, it was so cool. And I just think the headstock is hilarious.
Oh God, yes.
If anyone who doesn't know it, you have to look it up.
Help me out with the
Astrojet.
Yeah.
Look it up. It's the Gumby of guitars, I guess.
It is very Gumby like. And Tony, you have to correct me if I'm wrong, but basically my understanding was that they basically were asking just guys in the shop, like, hey, Steve, you know how to draw. You want to make us a guitar? And he's like, sure. And he like drew that up, and they're like, sounds good, and just made it. Like, am I wrong there? Like, isn't it kind of just random?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know the whole story behind that, but I think, didn't that come from the Baldwin era? I mean, it was.
It's 60s, so I think it's pre-Baldwin era.
Yeah,
everything came from the Baldwin era. Lemon.
Now, the Baldwin era as a repair guy is a whole nother story.
Yeah.
My favorite, lamp cords. They used lamp cords for wiring.
Well, whatever it takes.
That is
It was
super cool. Oh my!
It is hilarious. So yeah, like hollow body, and you look inside, and it's a two wire, glue, however they used to come, where the wires were attached to lamp cords, and that's the wiring in that guitar.
Well, shielding is obviously not necessary.
No, you don't need that. It's not worth it at that point.
What's weird? It's like if the Parker Fly kind of gave up on going to the gym.
Yes, exactly. And
it's glorious.
It's so cool though. I'll have to message you the actual guitar, a picture of the one I have. Because
what color is yours?
I think they only
it
made
was
them in
red. They only made them in red, but it's basically it's burgundy at this point. It's so discolored. It's really cool. It's like snake skin looking. Like it's like it didn't check. It's like wrinkly. Like it's weird. It's so weird, but it's great. I love it.
I think that's next
what's
quest.
most important.
That's my next guitar quest right there.
Hey,
wow.
The biggest issue is the trem is bad because it's got that
Hagstrom bridge.
The Hagstrom bridge.
Yeah.
Those are a trick.
It's a Hagstrom bridge. It's got a great big upper bout. That's crazy.
Oh yeah.
But it's probably nicely balanced because
it is.
It's
all the way over.
I feel like Eastwood might have done
They have.
Yeah, they did.
Yes, they did.
But I don't think they used the same trem. I think they used like a Jazzmaster trem on it.
Yeah, they use something much more readily serviceable and gettable and all that stuff. Yeah.
Wild, man. Let's see here. Billy Boy, what's going on in your music world this week?
Well, this week I am officially the new owner of a very old 1962 Fender Bassman.
That's cool.
Nice.
Like the full stack?
It's got it's the 212 that sits, horizontally.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. The piggyback.
And it's got it's got the bass version of the cabinet, so it's got the baffle between the speakers. Okay. Cool. And then it's blonde.
Oh.
With wheat cloth and the flat Fender logo.
Wheat.
And it has the white knobs. It has the white, old-fashioned knobs, and it's got a presence control. And man, that thing just smokes. I mean, awesome. It is what you want every Fender amp to sound like, but you can't quite get it there, and somehow this thing has it, and it's just I don't understand why they don't make them identically like that.
Now,
But it's just amazing.
Forgive me. I hope I'm not mixing up things in a way that everybody is like rolling their eyes. Is this similar to what the amp that Jared got that was browned, that was quote unquote browned? Okay.
No.
Okay, just checking.
No,
This one's a head that sits on a 212 cabinet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's got little feet that you can slide out underneath the head and screw them down to the cabinet, and then it has tilt back legs.
Yeah.
On the side, and then
Yep.
it's just like what Brian Setzer plays.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
That the 62 band or
Ooh.
bassman is like the rockabilly guitar or amplifier.
Yeah, it's just so cool. I mean, I can't even describe how cool the sound is out of it.
Yep.
It's it breaks up by the time you get to 4, and it stays broken up throughout, and it's just like this.
Now, wasn't
brilliant
that?
sound.
Is it
40 watts?
Well, yeah, it's
I mean,
it's
two
two
6L6s,
so
40 or 50 watts.
40 or 50.
Yeah.
It's pretty. It's got some pretty decent volume.
No, they sound great. Those are
Yeah.
those sound amazing.
Yeah, but it doesn't. But I mean, you can make it sound clean, but it doesn't have that clean headroom that a lot of the Fender,
Right.
2 6L6 heads do. So
Yeah.
So you had some good times playing it out of there.
yeah, it was so magical. I just forked over the money, But
Yeah.
I bought it from a good friend who is a guitar player that we've played in a rockabilly band with, and he said it's time for somebody else
Yeah.
to play it and love it.
That's
and
cool.
let it be heard. So
Now,
that is now me.
Correct me if I'm wrong.
Congratulations.
But
That's very cool.
For those, and I'm not an aficionado of the older Fenders per se, but I believe that is what basically was the inspiration for the Marshall.
Well, I think
Am I correct in saying
I
that?
I think the JTM 45s they all used the same schematics, the circuitry.
Right.
Marshall's modified things a bit and obviously used EL34 tubes, which
Right.
were more common in the UK. So 6L6s sound a bit different than 34s.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. The basic schematic is pretty darn close.
Yeah, the mother of sort of modern amplification going on from there, right?
Yeah, I mean, there was the bassman, the bandmaster,
We've got a
showman. Showman came out a little bit later. Maybe not.
Showman's had a little more
Shomer
power,
Thomas.
and they had a different they had a different ohmage on the
Okay.
speakers.
But yeah, there's some really cool stuff. But that sounds like I can't wait to hear that amp actually.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's,
so you're
that's
gonna
my
bring
little,
it. You're gonna
that's my
bring it
little
in
slice
and
of heaven.
leave
right
it
now.
here. Is that what you're doing?
He laughs.
Laughing inconvincingly.
What about you, Todd?
Well, I've had a heck of a guitar week, and some of it is actually going to spill over into the next one. But what I am so excited to talk about this. So, where I work, we're privileged with the opportunity to be able to essentially present a Make-A-Wish gift. And the gift that we got that came our way, the owner of my company came in. He said, "Hey, come on in here, and you're gonna want to hear this." And I said, "Okay, we're gonna do a Make-A-Wish thing here." And I'm simplifying the conversation. He said, "The guy, he's a guitar guy," and I was like, "Hello," and he said, "Yes, I know you'd be excited about this." So this is a young man who has had critical health issues his whole life, and we found out that his request was he wanted guitar lessons.
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, that's cool."
So you're going to go teach him?
Yeah, I'm going to go teach him. Right. Oh boy, I'm still waiting for mine. So
We
he
all
wanted guitar lessons, and immediately I said, we need to get him a guitar. And he said, I knew you were going to say that. So let's figure this out. And so we did a little digging. We found out that he was a country music guy. And I said, well, that guy needs a Telecaster. And then we found out his favorite player is Brad Paisley.
Yeah.
So immediately I was like, Tony, can you do a custom pickguard for this guitar I haven't even bought yet? And I was going crazy. He's like, yeah, just slow down. When you get it, let me know. We'll sort it out. And I said, his favorite guitar player is Brad Paisley. Do you have anything? And Tony said,
how about black and silver Paisley print?
Which is exactly what's on many of his guitars. And so I was really excited about this. Got with Sweetwater. They helped us out too. And now the only trick is he's lefty. So fortunately, we got a black left-handed Telecaster.
Yeah.
I got a Spark amp.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
We get him a Spark amp and everything. And I brought and a beautiful tweed case. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we took that over to Tony's. We took it all apart, and
no, we didn't take it all apart. We just took the pick guard.
The pick guard apart, yeah. Took the pick guard apart, and we're doing a video of it and everything. And Tony made a beautiful pick guard, silver. It's like silver flake and black.
It's actually there's a foil layer that that is printed on it, so you can actually, even though it's smooth on the top, you can actually kind of see the texture of the foil.
Yeah, you absolutely can. It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And then after that, I said, well, this guitar is going to need a full setup.
Ah, yes. Did you take it to Chassé?
I called Chase. I said, here's the deal, Chase. And he said, bring it over immediately. So he took several hours out of his day he went full on. I said, now, we just need a setup. He looked at me like, how dare you? And he said, I'm going to dress the frets.
Nice.
So leveled them, dressed them, polished them, the whole 9 yards. Did the neck, set the intonation, new strings, the whole bit, right?
Nice.
And he actually refiled the nut, so everything was perfect. I mean, he got it player ready, so Paisley himself could take it on stage and knock it out of the park. It was touching to see the attention to detail that Chase put into that guitar, unlike Tony.
That's so cool.
I'm kidding.
That's so cool. I want that guard back.
That's so cool.
Tony was a sweetheart, and he did his best on it. And anyways, so we got to present that on Monday, which was yesterday. And it was an absolute thrill. It really, truly was. And his family was they were stunned. His words, he lifted up the case because he didn't know he was getting a guitar. He just thought he was getting lessons. And then I came up behind him with a case, and he turns around and he's looking at the case. His eyes almost fell out of his head. We opened it up, and it's a tweed with a red plush inside, and here's this beautiful black guitar with a Paisley pickguard. And then he looked at it, and he paused, and he goes, oh, crap. And he was thrilled to death, and his parents were. It was great. Cool. It was a great experience. We don't often get the chance. We hear about these things, but to have the chance to be part of that was an absolute honor. Awesome. And I want to give a sincere thank you to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the Ohio, Kentucky, and Indiana chapter, and they were just absolutely so great and sweet to work with. And to a shout out to Alessandro, who owns Orgo Branding, and for just making this a real special occasion. So thanks, Alessandro. All right, and a good one next week too. I got a good one. It's sitting right there. You can't see it.
I saw it. So Todd,
Tour Gear Designs patch cables.
Took the words right out of his mouth.
Wow. Did you read my script?
Did I guess right?
Yeah, I'd like to talk to you about that.
Let's go back to the top. Go ahead.
All right. So, did you include any little patch cables into this Make-A-Wish guitar?
No, it was the guitar only. But If I did,
What kind would you have chosen?
I would have chosen the Tour Gear Designs patch cables because those are the patch cables that I love, that I know you do.
I know.
Billy does. No, Jared does.
You know
and
why?
So many other players
You
out
know
there.
why I like them?
Why?
They're dependable.
Yes.
They're flat.
Yes.
They're priced very nicely.
It's almost impossible to beat them.
And there's one thing more.
Yes.
If you go to their website and put your order in and go to the order page,
Yep.
put the coupon code. Don't tell anybody. Put the coupon, the guitar knobs, all
Yep.
one word, all lowercase. You're going to save an extra 10%. And believe me, once you're in there and you start looking at all their offerings, you're gonna load up a pretty sizable cart there, and save
That
some
10% 's gonna
serious
help.
dough, and you get them fast.
And they're made by some seriously good dudes. So.
And you know it's good stuff because when you get your cables, you look at the little cardboard piece that covers them. Somebody actually signs off on these things.
Make sure they work.
Quality control.
That's right.
Nice.
All right. Thank you so much to Tour Gear Designs for sponsoring our 4 on the Floor.
Let me get a little bit of this.
What was that? Was that Grandma Spitfire?
1, 2, 1, 2, 3. 4 on the floor.
All right. Lukas Janaky from LSJ Music Company. What is your 4 on the floor?
All right. So I've been listening to you guys since the show started. So I know your favorite thing is I'm just going to say 4 tuner pedals.
Are they different tuner pedals?
Yeah. They're
okay.
all different.
Which 4?
Stop it.
One for each string.
Give it to us.
So my first one is the Hello Sailor
Oh.
Kossoff drive.
Oh, that's a great one.
Oh, yes.
And he made a higher gain version.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
that's cool.
And then best of all, it's aged and it has Billy Gibbons on the front of it.
Nice.
Oh.
And I'm a massive ZZ Top fan. I don't really know why, but his guitar tone is always just absolutely killer. And he posted a picture of it, and I was like, "It's got Billy Gibbons on it. It must give me the mojo."
Yeah.
But in all seriousness, it sounds so good. It's not my first pedal from Hello Sailor. It's my second one, but it sounds so good. It's such a good pedal.
Collector stuff. It's like you get one, you want another one because it's like there's no other one like that pedal on the planet.
Exactly.
That is true.
Yeah,
Whichever one it is.
And
they're all different.
So Joe Halliday, from Hello Sailor, just does like what he does is so cool, and I love that he does he says where he was at sea and all that stuff. Like it makes it so, like, again, being a collector side of things, it just makes it so cool and it's so personable at that point. And
he's a legitimate British naval guy.
Yeah. And then on top of that, I don't understand where he would find the time to build them on a boat nonetheless, but
every sailor in the world just like did the cringe because you call it a boat.
Oh,
it's a ship, man.
What you say? A boat?
sorry. Only I don't have no large bodies of water in where I am. Everything's a boat when all there is lakes.
Yeah.
Locks.
But anyway, that's my number one.
Okay,
right
number
now.
1. Great.
That's a good start. Continue, please. Number 2.
Thank you. Number 2, the Ren & Cuff Garbage Face.
Oh.
So it is the fuzz that Jay Mascis uses.
Okay.
That's the one that he modeled exactly to be like,
Yes. Not the big muff like the new big muff that just came out, the Jay Mascis big muff, which is slightly voiced different, where the one that Ren & Cuff built is voiced specifically of the old one he is currently using.
Right.
And then on top of
which is
that,
different. It's really different because most of Ren & Cuff stuff is like really kind of tight and almost like modern looking with the graphics and everything. It's sort of a simple approach. And this one looks like a comic book.
Yeah, which is all Jay Mascis artwork or his vibe as far as art stuff goes.
Yeah.
If you look at his straps and everything basically except his guitars, like his straps and all that stuff, or all that kind of.
Yeah, looks like he works at Nickelodeon or something.
Yeah. But anyways, it's got that fuzz in it, and then it's got a second button, which is it's a treble booster. And it sounds so good. The two together, which you have to do, it's a ton of gain, but it does that sound so good. And up there with, again, I'm kind of a chaser of sounds of bands that have influenced me a lot. And so they're one of like his sound just has this thing about it that like I love, and it does that so well, and it just sounds so good. And it's like the right big muff sound, and with the booster, it's awesome. It's just very, very, I don't know what the right word. It's Dinosaur Jr. in a box. I mean, it's that sound.
Killer.
Very cool.
Killer. All right.
Very cool.
All right. So number 3, the Strymon Volante. Been really cool. I'm into the big vintage studio pedals as far as that stuff goes. And not pedals, tape machines. And so it does a drum, which is actually a wire-based tape machine. It used a wire, like a metal wire.
Really?
Yeah, I don't remember what the real name of that tape machine is though. And then
Are you sure it's not? They're not talking about like the oil can?
No. It's a physical wire that would run basically like a tape machine, and it would do the magnetic stuff on a wire. I just can't remember what the name of it's called, what that machine is, but it sounds super cool. It's got a very interesting shape to it as far as like a delay goes. And then it has a tape, which is your kind of more like your standard what is it, like the Maestro one,
Which
yeah,
Echoplex.
just a regular tape,
like a regular Echoplex. And then it does a studio, so then tape delay via like what you would have done in the studio, like on the actual
like sound on sound.
Yeah. And so it's cool because you can do that. You can pick the play heads on it. It gives you so you can stagger the heads in different orders.
This is almost too much.
It's crazy, but it's funny enough. It's very not too much for Strymon.
No, I mean, it's $400 for everything in there. That's nuts.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's super cool. And
This one kind of flew under the Strymon radar because the other ones were so big.
Yeah.
And it kind of had if I remember right, it kind of low key came out. It wasn't like super pumped up as far as the pedal went.
Yeah.
And it's cool because it's got a low cut.
It was
got
like
a
2019 that came out, I think. Because they brought it out in NAMM.
Okay. That's right.
And then you got repeats, echo level. It actually has a spring reverb in it, though at least in this model, you can't run the spring reverb alone. It only works when the delay is engaged. You can crank up your record level and actually kind of, in theory, distort the tape. And then it's got a low cut, and then it's got half speed, normal speed, and double time. So if you record it in half and then double timed it, it actually gets it goes pitching up. Or if you recorded it in normal and halved it, it actually drops the pitch.
Is there a hammer time switch in there?
If only, Tony. If only.
This thing has 3 foot switches, 9 knobs.
Yeah.
Yes. Two mini
11
switches.
LEDs and 2 micro toggles.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
Holy crap!
It's only 8 LEDs, and they're technically buttons, but they have 2 modes.
No, but there's 3 more LEDs on the bottom.
Those don't count.
Okay.
And then I greatly underuse this pedal. I mean, it has left and right in, left and right out. It has an expression input. It's got MIDI control. And I probably don't use it as deeply as I could. But the sounds that I like is old tape machines, old that kind of gear. And honestly, it's hard to get into just from the maintenance side of things. And in the last couple of years, the prices of actual little tape machines and stuff have
yeah.
in real pedal world have just gone to the moon. So it's like, you know, it does all these really cool things without being massively busting the bank.
Yeah.
I mean,
And I bet used
those
those are probably, they can't be more than what, 375 used.
Oh, probably less.
Yeah.
Than that, yeah.
Yeah, I bought mine used. I just surfed used until
Wow.
the right price came up. You know, it was one of those. I was like, well, I'll just watched it on
why not
online and picked one up eventually.
So
and then
what's number 4?
So number 4, I don't think you guys have ever had this guy on. It's wrought iron effects.
He's in. So I reached out to him. We were scheduling, and then he had 2 big launches coming up. And he's like, "Let me finish these launches."
Yeah.
So wrought iron, we are hoping to have on the show. He just keeps making stuff. So,
Awesome, yeah. He's super cool, dude. Ed Chu.
Yeah.
Wisconsin local. He lives a couple out, like 2 hours north of me.
Well, next time you see him when you're 2 hours north and you guys are just passing each other on the freeway, tell him to hurry up and get done with stuff so he can come on our show.
Oh, his stuff is so cool. So I have his Surge Wave compact reverb pedal, which is not compact in size. So I don't want to give away too much if you're going to have him on the show, but he rehouses old electronic units and old test equipment and stuff into guitar pedals. So mine is a small reverb tank inside of, I don't even know what this thing was, but it's got a VU meter with the needle on it, and you turn it on and it tells you it goes right to 9 volts, and it's got plenty of control. He makes all of his own plating and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it sounds so good.
Makes all his own chassis and everything.
Yeah, he's amazing. He does some really good work. If you follow him on Instagram, he did a reverb in an old radio, and he made it so that when you turned the reverb up, that it moved the radio tuning dial.
Yeah.
But
he's got a fantastic Instagram. I don't know how he has time to do that and make all that stuff.
Oh man, it's so cool. He's a killer guy, and he also makes really, really cool guitar straps. He makes like leather and brass guitar straps. Now, granted, I also know that like some people aren't into the leather guitar strap thing anymore, but they look really cool. They look really cool.
Billy likes them. I don't like
Sweet.
them.
How do so what's he call his
They get stuck
his
on
shop?
my shirt.
Wrought Iron Effects.
Wrought Iron Effects. Okay.
And I think all of his straps are custom order, but they're really cool. They're like what you like. They're very, very cool. That's all I can say about it. They have a really
Are they
good
burnished
look
on both sides, or is it the raw leather on the inside and only burnished on the outside?
I don't know. I don't have one.
Oh, okay.
I want one.
You want
it's
one?
It's on the Christmas list.
Yeah, if you just get a guitar strap from your local guitar store, it's like the raw sort of balled up leather on the inside. Yeah. I can't do that. I can't do it.
Someone call that rawhide.
Rawhide.
Yeah. It sticks to your shirt and pulls your shirt all funny.
Exactly.
And,
I don't need
and
that.
for you, I understand, because you play out, and so then that you don't need that when you're playing out. Like you don't need it to be pulling your shirt all weird.
Right.
Because you got to look good.
I do that.
But
no, his lady fans do that.
All of them.
There's at least
let's
3.
move on. Well, that's cool. That's a great 4 on the floor, man. That's quite a fun board.
It's not super crazy, but it's kind of I honestly rotate a lot. My pedals don't even actually end up on the floor. They sit on top of the amp, and I kind of swap stuff out and go through. And but these have been the ones that have been sticking for a while.
Sounds like you need some Tour Gear design patch cables.
Yeah.
I do. I honestly was thinking about that just today. I was like, it's all a mess. And
sell them in your store.
do they do retail?
I think so.
Probably.
Well, now I need to call them.
Yeah. Get some distro, bro.
Yeah, that would be awesome. I didn't think about that.
That'd be a great. I should get that URL, distro, bro. You know, anyways, wow, that was whatever.
Yeah, trademark that.
All right.
Mark it while you
So
can. Otherwise,
let's
I'm
see.
going to.
Lucas, we need to kind of dive into you as the person and your relation to the guitar community.
Yeah.
And, I want to say a heartfelt thank you for the support that you provide for our show.
You know it. Absolutely.
It
It's
keeps wheels
it's-
moving.
Yeah, and honestly, it's a small thing I can do in return of all the knowledge I gained from listening to you guys.
Wow. Mostly
I'm-
from me, but
Oh, Todd.
yeah.
In Todd's world.
Yeah.
Midwest Nice doesn't let me say something else.
I was like, that's a long silence of
That's a Gary Shandling silence.
No, but seriously, like I said this to Todd when we talked. We were talking last week, and I was just saying that I started my shop when I was 22 years old.
Wow.
I'm 30 now, and you guys started. What year did you guys start doing your podcast? 2017?
16.
16? So that was around the exact same time I opened my store. I opened in 2016, and you guys did something that I at the time greatly needed, was just listening to people that were just sitting around talking gear, and I picked up so much and was able to help my customer base so much because of you guys. Honestly, I'm like I was saying to Todd, it shaped who I was as a sales guy and as just a gear person, and it helped a ton for me and honestly my business growing. Like I said, I'm very grateful for the show that you guys have created.
Wow. I don't know what to say to all that except a very heartfelt thank you.
Yeah, and I'm a straight shooter when it comes to that stuff. I wouldn't, blow smoke at you guys. Like, that is truly, like I said, it when you called me to say that you wanted to interview me, I was talking to you on the phone. I was almost starstruck. I'm like, and as silly as it sounds, I was like, I've been listening to you guys for how long? 5,
6,
no, 8, almost 8 years.
87
almost
years.
7 years.
Yeah. So
We'll get
it's
the
just
math.
been,
It's fine.
but anyway, that's just before we get any more into it. I just want to say that's my thank you to you guys.
Oh,
so
thanks.
That's awesome to hear. It's humbling to hear. So you have, we read your name off.
Yeah.
Not as Lukas Janaky, but as LSJ Music Company. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your store?
Yeah. So LSJ Music Company is a music store in Delavan, Wisconsin. We specialize in, we got labeled as a quote unquote rock and roll store. So I do guitars, basses, drums. I do, as far as sales go, that's what I do. I do all that. I occasionally will sell a saxophone, though I know nothing about them. And then
Can they call you Deacon Blue?
Oh, jeez. Don't listen to him.
I've only ever been called Cool Hand Luke, but it's been a long time since someone's called me that. So we do all that. We do lessons. So I personally teach beginner guitar. I teach bass, and I teach drums. I have some teachers that are stupidly talented that just are awesome, and they teach the other instruments that I don't know how to play, or that they play way better than I do. And then my big thing is I'm a repair guy. I do guitar repair. I'm starting to get into amp repair. Getting into the mostly tube amps, specifically kind of more restoration side of things. And yeah, that's kind of the nutshell of a lot of stuff that I do. We also run a recording studio in the store in the nights and weekends.
Wow.
My lesson rooms become the studio. And then, yeah, that's kind of the store in a large sort of compact thing. It's a lot, but I kind of wanted it that way. Kind of stuck my fingers in lots of pots and said, "This is how I can make a small business work for a guy like me, like myself."
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
I love the idea of, I think all of us secretly out there would be like, wouldn't it be cool if we had a guitar store?
Yeah. Yep. A lot of people go, that's probably really cool. And I go, yeah, it's a lot of fun. Though it has a lot of stressful days.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
But last couple of years were definitely stressful. But we're kind of coming out of it now, and lessons are growing again. One positive thing that came from the whole COVID times was my repair work became more known. So I'm constantly busy now, which is awesome. I'm truly grateful for my local musicians for that they've been keeping me busy fixing stuff. And I do restringing cleans I'm restoring a 60s harmony rocket. So
nice.
I cover the gamut. I'm not afraid to give it a shot. Most of the time I say to customers is that bring it in and we'll see what we can do.
Yeah.
The worst thing that happens is I tell you it's a wall hanger, and more than not, we can fix it.
That's awesome, man.
Thank you.
So how did you, it's one thing to like guitars, and it's one thing to, I bet you play a bunch of instruments. So that's why you're a little bit more knowledgeable about all the rest of the things.
Yeah. I celebrated 20 years of being a drummer this year.
Wow.
I've been playing since I was 10, and that's my first instrument, my first love into music. But I learned to jam from a dear relative of mine. He goes by the name of Terry Peterson. He is well known in our area as an amazing guitar player. He has a band called Triad. I'm actually recording their album right now, so that'll hopefully be out soon.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's awesome. But he plays guitar, and he is ridiculously good at it. And it was one of those, it was like when he picked it up and you watched him play, I was just goes, wow, I want to do that.
Yeah.
I just want to do that so bad. And
wasn't
I
Dr. Z a drummer?
Say it again.
Yes.
Dr. Z was a drummer too. Dr. Z,
Yes, he is.
amp maker, yeah.
And Jim Marshall.
And Jim Marshall?
Yeah.
And there's someone else too, but yeah, it somehow works. It gives you, I get the reference. A lot of people say I play guitar like a drummer, and I don't understand. But I've been working really hard not to be that way anymore.
Yeah.
I played in bands, mostly on drums, some on bass. I kind of plunked around on guitar on the side. Then I started fixing my friends' guitars because I was the only one that knew how to solder, and wasn't afraid to try to turn the truss rod.
Yeah.
And, stuff like that. And so it's turned to that. And then it was a lot of helping friends find gear. It was a lot of like, hey, I'm looking for this, or I want this sound. Can you help me figure that out? And I'd be like, yeah, for sure. Let's go, to this shop. And, you drive an hour to Milwaukee, hour and a half down to Chicago, something like that. And the whole time I'm like, man, it would have been really nice if there was something close by.
Yeah.
Man, we would save so much time if we could do X, Y, or Z. And especially I'm talking age 10 to age 16 of we couldn't wait to get our licenses so we could go to the gear stores without having our moms take us there.
That's so uncool.
Oh, well, moms can only wait so long in the music store. And
sure.
When you're trying to pick out a pedal and you try all the pedals,
Yeah.
But anyway.
Well, you're kind of like a little bit of a music renaissance man, like Billy over here, who's multi-instrumental dude.
Yeah, I try to be. And
Billy,
really,
Do you play harmonica?
no, no.
Well,
Do you?
yes, in fact, and I highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Comes from his prison years.
But they're really difficult to repair. So,
That's what I've heard. And you get the random stuff. I've had a handful of people come in and go, "Do you repair accordions?" And I'm like, I don't know where to begin on an accordion, and they're very
go to New York for that stuff.
I don't know. Wisconsin might be the polka
that's
capital
right.
of the
There you
world.
go. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, at one point it was. I mean, the only accordion I have any relationship to is my grandpa's that he had to lug around as a good Polish boy in the 40s. So
Cool.
that's the most I've ever gone with an accordion is I have his. But yeah, it started as that. I went to college for recording and engineering and learned a lot about that and repaired. And that's where again, gear, went back into helping friends find gear and a lot of like, hey, I'm trying to record this. I want this. And I'd be like, sure, let me help you out. And it turned into just that guy. I became you need something fixed or you need a suggestion. Lukas is the guy to help you with that. And I loved that. I loved doing that. And, I had a friend that opened up his own business and I sat with him and helped him run his business for a couple years. And I went, well, if he can do it, I can do this. And so I spent every single penny I had at 22 years old and opened up my shop and haven't really looked back. I mean, I've looked back and said, man, it was a fun thought when I first started, and now it's a business and it's really cool. I've apparently become important to the town I'm in. That's what they tell me. And so
Nice.
it's been really cool. I love the area I'm in. I love supporting my local musicians. I've recently, I don't know if I'm stealing it from someone else, but I've kind of restarted sloganing my store as LSJ Music Company, you deserve to be heard.
Ooh,
and
nice.
and I truly feel that at this point. It's regardless of where you play and what you do as far as musician goes, you deserve a quality product. You deserve quality repair work. You deserve quality recording. And
not to be felt like a schmuck or a schmo when you walk in there if you don't know something.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I always tell people, if you don't want to buy it through me, there's lots of options nowadays. I can understand that. I would love for you to buy it from me, but here's my card. If you need help finding that thing, hit me up. I'm more than happy to help because I'd rather gain a customer through education than a customer just for the money's sake.
That's the old Miracle on 34th Street attitude right there, bro.
Thank you. I mean, like I said, it's the way of the small business. It's just I want to help. My mother was a teacher, and my dad was a huge teacher to me as far as electronics and stuff go. And I just want to spin that circle around. Can keep that cycle going. I've been truly lucky in my repair world as far as repair guys that have been doing it longer than I've been alive, been just going, hey, just come hang out. I'll show you what to do. I'll help you with this. I'll show you this. And,
sure.
And I've tried to spin that back around. I've taken on a few apprentices and they've moved on already. And I loved educating them. And that's kind of me, man. That's what I love to do.
That's awesome. So in your store, like obviously, we focus on boutique builders and other enthusiasts and makers and shakers of the music world. How, as a small business owner in the guitar and gear community, what does that look like as far as, most of the shops that we think of, where it's like you're going to go in there and you're going to see the typical stuff that's in basically any other brick and mortar that you kind of have to stock in order to stay alive. But since you have access and knowledge maybe further than a lot of shop owners, how does that shape your business?
So it shapes it in a few ways. There's stuff that I would love to carry, and there's stuff that my demographic really fits. So demographically, I actually sell a lot to first-time guitar players. Mm-hmm. So it's a lot of I'm an Ibanez dealer mainly. And so I do a lot of the sub $500 guitars, both in acoustic and in electric. And then from there, it's kind of fun because I can watch the growth of a lot of those players from buying that $500, $300 guitar, and then all of a sudden wanting to get a nicer guitar or start tweaking that guitar. Because a lot of times it's like, it's like, hey, you could put a new pickup in this guitar and then, it'll start, it'll take you to the, it'll be that sound you're looking for. And they're like, really? And, kind of saying, it's not always a whole new guitar. It's not always changing something. A lot of times it's like, how do you feel about this playing? And they're like, it just doesn't play that great. And like, well, let's do a setup on it. Let's make it play the way you want it to play.
Right.
And then as gear goes, I float. I wish I could do more boutique stuff because that's what I love and that's what I would love to do. But we're slowly gaining ground on that. I do a lot of like your MXR, your Electro Harmonics, and then I recently became a JHS dealer. Which even though they're very big, they're still a relatively, personable company as far as that goes. But it's been really interesting. A lot of, like I said, it's a lot of, I'm buying my first distortion pedal. What do I do? I'm looking for X, Y, or Z, and I don't even know where to start. And so it's a lot of helping people find sounds, helping people shape stuff, helping people, from kids to adults to, that next amp. It's like, hey, I understand that you're looking for that distortion pedal or whatever, but let's talk about your amp for a minute. Like, what are you playing through? And, they go, oh, I'm playing through my 5-watt practice amp. And you're like, oh boy, well, let's explore something else. Yeah. And sometimes it's we don't always go right to tube, even though we love our tube amps. I'm a big tube amp guy that way. But sometimes it's like, hey, let's take a look at this step up modeling amp, and then all of a sudden it's like you've got sounds in it that they've never even had the option of using before, and some stuff like that. And so that's really fun. And then on the other side of it, we do used gear as well, which is where I tend to dabble a little more in the fun stuff. I've got a 64 Bandmaster in the store right now. That's up your alley.
Down my alley.
Yeah, right up here. Though this one has the big 2x12 cab, which takes up the entire bed of my truck somehow.
Right.
And then, so I kind of dabble around in some of the used stuff on that end. And then I do what we call our, the LSJ mod shop. And so then it's a lot of my spin on kind of taking a husk guitar. Tony will talk about that quite a bit. He finds husks or buys a cheaper guitar and kind of flips the guts of it into something that actually is really cool. And I do a lot of that at the store, kind of making these, unique pieces that don't necessarily, dive crazy deep in. But we talk.
The olden days, they would have called those jalopies.
Yes. Yep. Yeah. And I'm a fan of the jalopy as far as that goes. They can be really fun. And then as far as just then we get into boutique stuff, and I love turning people on to the, like what we were just talking about, the Hello Sailor, the Ren and Cuff, the wrought iron effects. Like, those guys are so cool, and so many of them do direct, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times it's nice because it's like I don't feel bad directing people to those guys because they're a little mom and pop shop like me, and spread the love kind of thing. Like, hey, if that's the guy that's got the sound, that's the guy that's got the sound. So like I said, I'm growing. And as I grow, I hope to add more of the boutique side of things into it, because those guys are so fun.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, for sure. So how about yourself? I know, things that we've already talked about. I know that you're passionate about your own gear.
Oh, yeah.
What is your go-to? What is the dream rig that you currently own?
Okay. So, dream rig I've been running right now is I have a 1957 Gibson GA9. If you're
Heads are nodding over here.
Yeah. And it was funny enough, I repaired an amp for a customer that someone at a different shop told him that was unrepairable. They said, "There's no way we can fix this. You're out of luck." I said, "Let us take a look at it, see what we can do." I called the company that made the amp. They said, "We'd be more than happy to send you the parts to fix it." We fixed it for him, and he said, "Hey, that's awesome. Here's this old amp somebody gave me. I know nothing about it, and it doesn't look like something I want." And I said, "Okay, cool." I got a Gibson GA9 from 1957. I recapped it. It's still running the original tubes from 1957.
Wow.
It has the original speaker from 1957.
Neato.
And it sounds so cool. It has an awesome sound. It's a single volume knob, single tone knob. I'm trying to think what the tube complement in it is. It's a 6V6 with a 12AX7 and SJ7 or something like that, which is your rectifier.
Oh, the rectifier tube, yeah.
Yeah, rectifier tube, correct, yeah. And it sounds so good. It's got a great sound through it. I'm playing a Jalopy 1967 Gretsch Tennessean.
Fun.
Someone someone sanded the F-holes off and... But it's still brown, so it's still walnut colored, but it just doesn't have the F-holes anymore. So I don't know. Figure that one out.
Make F-holes that were never F-holes disappear.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Well,
That's kind of punk rock, actually.
Yeah.
It's sweet, and it currently has Dynasonics in it that sound amazing. I found reverb and eBay listings for it, and at some point it had a super distortion in it.
Well, jeez.
And that was really funny. It also had like someone's name on it. It had like Big Mac or something like.
Wow.
And
Sounds
that
like
was
a great guitar.
It's awesome, man. It's so cool. But it sounds amazing. It's just like, I don't know. It's, when it's good, it's good. And for some reason, someone hacked up a good one, but it's kind of back together now in a different form than it originally was. But it sounds awesome. And those two together with the wrought iron reverb are like money for a clean tone. They are so good. And then I don't know, man. Besides that, like that's been kind of a dream. Like that's been really good for me lately. And I don't know what a dream rig would be outside of the fact that I did recently close a handshake deal on a 65 Fender Twin.
Ooh.
Yeah, very nice.
It has not been turned on in 30 years.
Well, that's a little scary, but
it's all original, caps, everything. So I didn't obviously fire it up. But it being as original as it is, and we worked out a deal, and we're gonna do a restoration project out of it. I say we. Every time I say we, it's just me. There's no one else that works here. I'm the only person that works at this store. So as far as that goes, but yeah, that's gonna be pretty cool. Me and a buddy went in on it together and are gonna do some restoration work, and I'm kind of dumbfounded that it even walked into the store.
Yeah. Well,
now, what kind of style music are you going to play on your Twin?
I'm kind of all over the place, but on the Twin, when it's up and running, it's going to be a lot of good cleans. I'm kind of excited to kind of crank her up and hear a real one. I built a replica of a 65 Twin from a Mojo Tone kit, and it sounds really good, but I'm really excited to hear a real one. I don't know. I have a hard time describing what I play. I love Queens of the Stone Age. I love Dinosaur Jr.
Valentino's.
The Valentinos.
Well, I mean, with your Gretsch and your old Gibson amp, that sounds kind of rockabilly-ish.
Sounds like you need to get into some X.
Yeah, right.
You know what? I have got a I've got a big heart for good rockabilly music. You know, I love that stuff. I'm a big vintage Life kind of guy. Like I love all that, you know, and it even though, you know, rockabilly music is still present today, I love the sound of it. I love the vibe. I'm down for all that. You know, that's me, man. Like that stuff is cool.
That's cool.
Just love it.
I like that.
Very cool.
Hex Matos is nodding his head emphatically out there right now. He would be like, yes, let me in on this conversation. That's cool.
But yeah, like guitar tone for me is just and dream stuff. I don't necessarily have a dream rig that I'm like shooting for. I'm never like, if I get to this, then it'll be good. If I get to here, I'll finally be happy. Like I kind of love the not having an end. The you know, it's that lame where it's like it's not the trip, it's the journey or whatever.
Yes.
But like the journey as far as where I've started and where I'm at. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah,
the destination. Yeah. I love the trip, man. It's been fun. Like I love how my sound has changed, my playing style has changed, you know. It's been super cool, and it's been influenced by people I know and all that kind of stuff. And you know, I've got gear guys that are like you guys, where we just sit around and we talk gear and we bring a pedal and I just got this. You got to check it out. And you know, we do what we call pedal parties. We get together and we bring our pedals and, you know, bring our amps, and we all kind of sit in a circle and plug stuff in and swap pedals and like, no, you got to try this, throw this on here and you throw this on here, you know, all that kind of stuff. And it's a blast. It's like the Nashville songwriter circle, except that we don't actually, we don't write songs. We just play through pedals.
That's nice. That's cool. I really,
I highly suggest it.
That. Yeah.
Like, you know, you, Billy and Tony go sit around in a circle with all your pedals and you start goofing around, and all of a sudden you're like, whoa, this sound is nuts. Though you redo your pedal board on a weekly basis. So
that's true.
There is some truth in that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's almost every podcast I hear. Oh, I switched it around again, and I'm right there with you. I mean, like I said, my pedals don't make it to the floor; they make it to the top of the amp, and then all of a sudden I'm switching them out again, and I never even make it to the point that I get to step on them.
I have another show coming up, and there might be another change. But hey,
that's awesome.
You know, it's a constant. It's the chase, and it's also it's just fun. It's like, hey, I wonder if this will, you know, turn me on extra more. At this next one.
Yeah, or you find the right thing, and all of a sudden you're playing stuff you never played before. All of a sudden you're like, whoa, this is, you know, like the band, not the bandmaster, the Basement. All of a sudden you're probably playing stuff that you're like it just inspires a whole new level.
Yeah, and a whole new different kind of maybe style or sound.
Yeah, I mean, or deep, or you know, sends you even deeper down into the style you're in. You know, that's like Billy's new amp. You know, that probably you got that thing, and all of a sudden you're like, oh, I'm in this. I'm ready to go. Let's go deeper. Like
right, because it's like nothing else I have.
Yeah, and man, I wish I wish I could hear it. I bet it sounds amazing.
I just can't wait to see Billy put a Duesenberg tremolo on the amp. That'll be great.
That's going to be tricky.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to. Otherwise, you would put it on the springs, and then you could. That might work.
Yeah.
So what is one of your last pieces of gear that you acquired?
Okay. You know, what I've been doing lately is the Aeon Effects pedal kits.
Yeah. We had them on the show.
And that's why I actually got into them. I did one full kit, and then I bought a handful of circuit boards. And so I think technically my most recent piece of pedal world I bought was I have their version of the King of Tone.
Okay.
And after putting it all together, which is really fun, and that pedal sounds awesome. It sounds so good, and it's been very fun to do those. And I'm trying to get myself more into the pedal world funny enough, the friend that I bought the amp with, me and him are actually talking about starting a whole pedal thing. So we're actually really excited about that. And it's funny because he's an acoustic guitar builder. He builds acoustic guitars. And so it's funny to have him go from that to be like, do you want to start building pedals? And I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Like, let's do it. And he's like, okay, how do pedals work? Because he owns one electric guitar. You know, he builds acoustic guitars and he loves acoustic guitars. So it was kind of funny that he, you know, I'm assuming it was my pedals spilling out of my house and out of my studio that made him go, there must be something fun about this.
Right.
So maybe, so yeah, so he's in, which is awesome. So, but that's cool. I'm looking forward to, I have, the Gretsch Corvette is my newest kind of thing I've been messing around with, and it's been a blast so far. I kind of, being a tinkerer of things, it's exactly what I want to do. I don't think I own a guitar that I haven't tinkered with. Adding this, adding that, swapping this out. I'm a big fanatic for bone nuts on guitars, so I'm a big
all about that.
I start blank. I started as a square block and I carve it away, and I've gotten really, really into that. It's actually something I've started to be kind of known for locally, at least, is my work as far as that goes, which I think is awesome. But yeah, that's kind of, I think that's my two newest things that I've been really digging on. I'm currently happy, which doesn't usually last very long.
When you get your pedal business going, I want you to make one called the cheese curd.
I like that idea. We've been throwing around. I can't say anything more. I got to stop.
Okay. That's just.
I can't say more because it doesn't exist yet, and I can't let anyone steal my idea.
That's right.
Well, Lukas, it's been an absolute treat talking with you and learning about, you know, the guy behind the person that sponsors us and supports us. And
yeah, the guy that sits behind the three letters. If anyone was wondering, I am the L, the S, and the J.
Yeah. Well, you're onward to a rap career. So we're going to go to our next wonderful segment called
Would You Rather?
All right, we'll let that one slide. Missing Jared right now because he does such a beautiful job of that. But we've got a little twist to this one. Lukas, you want to take it?
Yes. So as opposed to taking the El Camino down to Jared's place in Nashville, we are going to fire up my old 1949 Nash. If anyone doesn't know what that looks like, it's a spaceship from the 40s.
It is cool. It is.
You have to check.
Cool.
You'll have to check them out online. It's a tiny little company that.
I heard it's in orbit around the moon right now.
It's short a gas tank, but it's real close.
And that makes perfect sense that we would take a Nash to Nashville.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
I like it.
There you go.
All right.
So we're gonna hop in that bad boy, and we're gonna go on down to see Mr. Jared. Or I think we might pass him. I think he's on the way back to you guys.
That is true.
Somewhere along 65 or 71. We'll probably cross paths.
Well, he won't miss us. We're big, we're green, and we're only going 40. So
that's pushing it.
So I've got a would you rather for you guys. So, would you rather only be able to go to small mom and pop shops? Now you're going to go there and you'll never find exactly what you're looking for, but you might find something cool. Or you're stuck to big box online, no used gear forever. So would you rather be able to shop all the mom and pop shops and find all the cool, weird stuff? Or are you going to be stuck in online land with only new gear?
That is a really good
I have an
question.
answer to that.
I know it.
Can I go first?
No. I always go first. Okay,
Unless
I
he
will defer to
relinquishes
you.
that.
I will defer to you.
Do you relinquish,
William.
Tony?
Should
I relinquish.
Okay.
Do I need to lay my jacket down on the ground so you can walk over it without getting your heels muddy?
All right, Billy, go ahead.
Okay.
I'm going first.
All right. No, this is Billy. Billy. Okay. Me. I say that I have always been a mom and pop shop guy, and so my entire collection of stuff is used, and it's cool that way. Because like you said about your Gretsch, you know, it's got that worn-in feeling, and you just there's something magical about reliving what someone else did and taking it a step further.
Yeah.
You know,
Cool.
And rescue dogs, you know, that's what I call my guitars. They're rescue dogs.
That's perfect. That's actually that's the best thing I think I've ever heard that type of guitar be called.
Billy for the win.
I went first, and I ruined it for you all. So you're next, Tony.
I'm not even going to say. No.
All right. Tony, go.
No, I'm 100% with Billy. I've always shopped at if I go into if we're on vacation or something, or go into a small town and there happens to be a music store, I always go in, especially if it's a ma and pa store, because, a lot of times there's stuff that you just won't see anywhere else, or, there's stuff packed away in the back room or in a dark hallway somewhere. And, I just think, it's kind of a treasure hunt.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate independent music stores, because they're, they can do things that don't require them to buy 100 Boss pedals and and 50 Fenders or Squiers and things like that. So they have a little more flexibility, and like I said, I think the big thing is finding treasures. You might not be even looking for something, but there it is in front of you.
And here I thought you were going to say DH gate only.
Well,
Yeah, for sure.
Oh my God.
Well, I think your answer is probably known to us, but go ahead.
He's all big box.
Yeah.
Yeah, big box only, man. That's the way to go. No, I love the mom and pop shop. I love I like weird stores that are kind of almost always use stuff, because I've got some good friends that own big mom and pop shops, and so they have their place in the guitar world, and they're awesome. And but some of those little ones that are weird, or they're just off the curve of normal, are really cool, and the search is really fun. I love, like Tony said, kind of the treasure hunt, finding that stuff that's sometimes it's oh, this guitar is only $100, but it's weird, and the pickup doesn't work, and that's okay because it's got this funky shape, and we'll fix it up. The rescue, the dog, what did you say, Billy?
Rescue dogs.
Yeah, the rescue dogs. Yeah.
That could be a new section in your store.
I think it might have to be.
That's cool.
So don't go. Don't go putting it on a
trademark.
Don't trademark it yet.
Put it on a pedal.
Yeah.
Hey,
You got the cheese curd and the rescue dog.
I got two. All right. Apparently, Billy's starting the business with me.
I'm going to make this unanimous. There's an undeniable special thing when you walk into somewhere and you're like, I don't know what I'm going to find, and you lock on to something, and you don't know why you lock onto that something, and then you can't wait to tell everybody about that something that you locked onto that apparently nobody else did, because you're the one who got it.
Yeah.
That's it to me.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Big or small,
As long
whatever
as-
the bit is,
As long as it's black and gold.
Yeah, you know it.
I've been listening long enough that I can usually, I know all the little stuff now.
Yeah.
But not just gold glitter.
Gold glitter.
Yes, specifically gold glitter.
Yeah. Well, that was a real fun one. Thank you, Lucas. I think that was a thoughtful, a thought-provoking venture into something that we don't normally, that we haven't brought up yet. So,
Hey, do you have a spare tire in that Nash? I think we're running low on one side.
4.
We might be. It's a bias ply though, so
Yeah. Well, we are going to say thank you to a handful of very important people. And Tony?
Yes, Todd, as you alluded to earlier in the show, we have a special group of people that we love to thank. These are our executive producers. Now, an executive producer makes this show possible. How do you become one? Is that what you just asked me, Billy? How do you become one?
How do you become an executive producer, Tony?
You go over to patreon.com/the Guitar Knobs. Check out a couple levels in which you can participate, become a sponsor, a patron of this very podcast. Each level comes with some very, very nice thank you gifts. Yeah. But in addition to all that, there's one thing more. Jared?
You get your name right on the thing.
Wow, Jared in stereo. Oh, that was a good one. I like that. So, special thanks to these executive producers. Moon Guitars, Vader Pedals, John Halverson, Rick Calhoun, Trevor Gunberg, Elad Mizrahi, Mike D, Richard Kendall, Mark Garton, Matt Hart, James White, Justin Jones, Anthony Gemalero, Bill Gola Guitars, John Esterle, Anthony Lathrop, Stefan Lamb, Michael Senchuk, Ken Sayers, Doug Christ, Darren Gregory, Tom Barazin, Rusty Sneeden, Ralph Gottschalk from Wonderful Audio Technology. What? Don Kloss, Gregory Randall, Brett Hogarth, Eric Hemmer, Stuart George, Michael Furman, and Andrew DeHaan.
Yes.
But you know, Todd,
There's
one level, even I won't say better, even higher.
Yeah.
The creme de la creme. We like to call them our grand poobahs. Now, these sponsors are given a fez to wear upon their head.
Yes.
Oh, so it's a Poohbah, not a Pooh Bear.
No, not a Pooh Bear.
Unlike
a
Poohbah.
Poohbah.
Yeah, Poohbah.
Poohbah.
That's cool.
By the way, someone in this room who's a grand Poohbah is not wearing their fez.
Shame for shame.
Can it pass if it's on a Dr. No Skeleton head?
Yes.
Yes, I think we can let that go. I was referring to a gentleman who is sitting to the left of me.
Yeah.
But
Come on, Todd.
I know.
no, not that. Anyhow, special thanks to these grand poobahs. Tommy Manasco, Ricardo Higuereda, David Kaminga, Brandon Wound Pickups, Hex Matos, Michio Murakishi, Bob Crouch, Jack Cadian, Sam Jett, Tyler Rhines, John Williams, James Pennington, Adam Johnson, Steve Keys, Cody Foster, Science of Sound, Brian Robison, Jonathan Jerusik, Corey Nagro, Michael Van Zant, Tim Nowak, Jonathan Daly, Martin Cliff, Sean S. Eddie Serratos, David Poe, Billy Spitfire, Unlimited, Congregation Gear Demos, and is there someone else I'm missing? Did I skip one, Todd?
Yes.
LSJ Music Company.
Indeed. Thank you all so very much. And Lucas, I especially want to thank you again for being on the show. I also want to mention that we've got, I'm mailing out stuff. Stuff is being mailed. There are winners of things. They're getting stuff. And everybody should have, they're at least in the mail if they have not already received them, the sweatshirts, the hoodies, rather, that we did. People today don't call them sweatshirts. They're hoodies, just so we're clear. So I'm very excited about that. We try to be thoughtful and take care of the ones who support us. And so if you're considering doing that, hop on over and join the gang, if you will.
I'm wearing my Poohbah sweatshirt right now.
Yes.
And I love it.
Delightful in it.
That's the only thing I'm wearing. Just like Pooh Bear. He only wears he
has no
wears a
bottoms
shirt.
on.
Yes.
Yeah.
My comment earlier stands. All right, everybody. So, Lucas, where can people find you and what you do?
So you can find me on Instagram at LSJ Music Company. We have a website, lsjmusiccompany.com. I'm also on Facebook, and I have a TikTok, I guess. I have made like 3 videos.
Nice.
But otherwise, you can find me on all that stuff. You can message me on anything. I answer all of it. I'm, like I said, I'm happy to help. I ship stuff all over the United States. I'm more than happy to send something to someone or shoot them an idea or whatever. Like, I'm here for my customers. I'm here for guitar guys and bass guys, and I'm here to make their sound better. You deserve to be heard.
There you go. Trademark. All right, Tony.
Head over to pickguardian.com. Check out some of the things that I do have available. But a lot of what I do is custom work. So, yeah, shoot me an email. Let me know what you're trying to do. I might have some tips for you. I can maybe even point you in the right direction. Or I can tell you, you know what? You don't even need a pick guard, but you do need this. So just head over there. Shoot me an email.
Do it. All right, Billy.
Musically, Billy Spitfire on Facebook. Also, the Mathematics from Columbus, Ohio, and Bastard Sons of Neptune. And in the art world, Billy Spitfire on Instagram and Billy Spitfire Unlimited on Facebook.
Wow, There
Nice.
you go. All the things. You can shoot me a message on the emails, Todd at theguitarknobs.com. You can also DM me on Instagram. And I would love if you would give my band, the Valentinos, a listen anywhere that you download music.
And
for
follow
free.
them on Instagram. Or not on Instagram.
Yeah,
Well, on Instagram,
yeah.
yeah.
Follow us on Instagram.
And Spotify.
And Spotify. On all the things. So a collective thank you to Lukas of LSJ Music Company for being on the show and supporting our show. Clap. Golf clap, everybody.
Yay! Thanks, Lucas.
No problem, guys. I'm more than happy to.
Awesome. Have a fantastic guitar week, everybody. And subscribe!
Yeah.
That was weird. Oh, this is a gold one.
It's green.
It's green.
Oopsie.
Oh, man, this bubbly water's killing me. Here we go.
Taken.
Billy, you want to give yourself like
Taken.
3
2
fingers of
inches.
scotch away from that thing?
2 inches, 3 inches. Yep.
It's so handy having this.
Oh. What do we talk about in this podcast?
No. What?
Clem. What's Clem's last name from the Blondie?
Stein?
Fandango.
Clem Fandango.
Clem Burke?
Clem Burke. Yeah,
That's the only car that you could actually stash Jared in the trunk.
But no, he will fit in the car sitting up. That car has crazy headroom. It has crazy headroom.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
It's made to wear your hat. You had to wear your 1940s.
Oh, that's true. Yeah,
Guy with
everyone
the
wore a
hat.
chapeau.
Can you put a double bass in there in the back seat?
Oh yeah, you could fit a double bass in there.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice. The one that talks to the burning bush?
The one that talks to the burning bush.
It's the ring nut.
No, the ring nut. You wing nut.
Yeah, I don't have any
It is.
volume.
Hang
He
on.
doesn't have any volume either.
It must be this thing
No,
again.
it's
Maybe it's this thing
articulating
again.
arm
It's
is
this
stuck.
thing again.
Nope, it's
It's
this
this. Yeah? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
We're going to get this thing crack-a-lackin' here.
Sweet, sounds good.
Oh, my gosh.
Well, that's it for these knobs. Please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/theguitarknobs. Visit our website at theguitarknobs.com for all of our past episodes, 4 on the Floor blog, and other good stuff. You can connect with us on social too at our Facebook page and share your gear and stories on our Facebook group. Also, be sure to check out our Instagram at Guitar Knobs. Catch you next time.